Hi and welcome to Ninja Monkey. I am Nathan and thank you for all the new subscribers that I've gained recently. I hope that you're enjoying the content. I do the research so that you don't have to. So you've asked for it and here it is. One of the most complicated issues is whether or not you can enter Japan as a student or even as a teacher to teach. So here's what I found and will hopefully point you in the right direction as to when you can submit those valuable visa applications. I came across what might be the clearest indicator of when all this might happen, so watch all the way to the end. So firstly, as mentioned in previous videos, Japan's Tokyo and surrounding prefectures are currently in a state of emergency. On December 26, 2020, the government of Japan announced a suspension of new entry of student visa holders from all country and regions. Most, if not all, visas have been paused, in essence stopping anyone who isn't Japanese resident from entering the country, and even with good reason. However, it seems that Japan is leaning towards ending that current state of emergency on March the 21st. Please note though that the state of emergency ending does not mean that Japan will reopen its borders to the outside world, but that more freedoms will be given to residents and some flexibility may also come to those wanting to enter for study, teaching or business. I asked a friend who is currently studying in Japan if they had heard anything about student visas or students entering the country, and they told me that overseas students have previously been able to apply and receive visas during the window in between states of emergencies, as student visas might be processed when there is no state of emergency, meaning that you should closely look at that window in case a new state of emergency is announced in the future. They also mentioned that these students were able to enter during the window between the two states of emergencies. So this is quite interesting information considering that hopefully the state of emergency will be lifted soon. So what might you expect to have to provide or do if and when you can finally enter the country with that visa you are so hoping to receive? This information is from one university published before visas were stopped, so it might give you a good idea as to what you can expect to provide on arrival and what you might have to do after. Interestingly, it's quite a lot of information, so listen carefully. Record your body temperature for 14 days up to the entry into Japan. You must also undergo a test for the coronavirus within 72 hours before departure from your country. You must obtain a test certificate that proves that you are negative. You must also process private medical insurance, including travel insurance that will cover medical expenses during the time that you're in Japan and at the time of your entry into Japan. You must quarantine for 14 days, counting from the next day of your arrival after the entry into Japan, and you must not have contact with any unspecified persons. The means of transport are also restricted to the following. You can drive your own car or a rented car, or you can hire a taxi. You must report your health conditions every day to the professor or the supervisor in the method that is specified by the university. You must also install the contact confirming app designated by the Ministry of Health, Labour and Welfare into your smartphone and must use the functions of the app for 14 days, counting from the next day of your arrival into Japan. You will also need to report your immigration information, landing date, landing airport, means of transportation, etc., and your medical private insurance certificate to the university before you enter Japan. So that's quite a lot of information, I know. This is what was actually going on in Japan to enter this specific and some other universities in December before the state of emergency came into play and all student visas were stopped. So I will actually leave all the links in the video description for you to do your own reading and just in case I've left anything out. This is actually a really good opportunity to remind you that you can ask questions in the comment section. I try to answer all the comments that I receive, and more importantly, user community. There's a lot of people searching up the same information and you can actually help each other out, give each other information and point each other in the right direction. Remember that things might change, and I'm using one example to give you an idea of what was happening in December before student visas were stopped. So I've actually been digging around the internet and doing a lot of research, asking questions and using the clues to try and figure out when things might change and when students and teachers might be able to enter Japan. I actually stumbled across the JET program website of the Japanese embassy in the Netherlands, which was last updated on the 12th of March 2021, so very recent information. This website actually was stating that there is an available position for 2021 with a deadline of application in April 2021 and for the interview to actually take place in May 2021. So that's actually quite interesting information, I think. Further digging into the links led me to the period of participation, where it states, in principle, the date of arrival is scheduled in July or August. However, for the 2021 JET program, the designated date of arrival is in September. As such, the period of participation is 10 months long for the 2021 JET participants. This might actually be the clearest indicator that points to a reopening and restart for aspiring English teachers and possibly students set for after summer. I found this information incredibly interesting as it actually came from the Japanese government website. I've left all the links in the description below. Please check them out. Don't forget that I've done a lot of research and I might have actually left a few things out. This is a very complicated topic and it's forever changing. And as always, I will be keeping you up to date. Don't forget that if you like this type of content, to subscribe if you haven't already, hit that bell notification to keep up to date with any future videos. I'll be keeping you up to date with all the information and research that I'm doing regarding when Japan will reopen. In this case, it's about students and teachers, but I've also been covering tourism as to when Japan might actually reopen for tourists. If you're interested in Japan travel, please check out my backlog of videos. I've traveled to all of Japan's main islands. I've gone off the beaten path and I've also gone to most of Japan's main tourist destinations. My videos might give you a little bit of an idea and an insight into some of the places that you might want to visit. I hope that this information has been useful, so let's start a conversation in the comments below. Let's help each other out, let's point each other in the right direction, and let's help grow the community. Anyway, till the next video, I'll see you soon hopefully. Bye!